Guys, the real reason for the celebration is to tell you guys I'm pregnant.
Whoa! Oh my God!
Oh. Yeah,
Congratulations.
Woof, 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 woof.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am gonna do a sit down video for this one, and I'm sure you've already seen by the title what this is gonna be about, but I felt like it only made sense for me to make a dedicated video about this because I'm nearing the end of my pregnancy. I am pregnant, and as of today, it's Friday, May 21st, about to be Saturday, May 22nd. But as of now, I am 31 weeks and 2 days, and my baby is the size of a coconut. So yes, I only have 9 more weeks until he's here. It's a he. I am having a boy, and so much has changed since I first found out. And I felt like I really wanted to document everything that I've experienced from the time I found out to now. And the best way to do that is through this video that you're watching. So mostly for me to have something to look back on and kind of just like remember, because it was so much to wrap my head around, and I wanted to do this video a lot sooner, but life happens and time flies by so quickly. And then there are also pieces that I kind of just wanted to keep personal and not really have live on the internet. So yeah, but I really wanted this video to be mostly about like symptoms that are like, yeah, the first symptoms of me finding out I was pregnant, what I went through. I'm past my first and second trimester. I'm now in my third trimester. So I figure what better way to sum up what I've experienced so far, since I'm a little more than halfway through at this point. And I guess first let's start off with the bump. So yes, like I said, it's good. I'm every Wednesday I turn a different week. So I'm currently 31 weeks and 2 days on Saturday, which is in like 20 minutes. I'll be 31 weeks and 3 days. So as of now, this is the bump, the la bump, you know. This can't believe that I'm already in my third trimester. I actually just took photos. So it has like a little 7-month tattoo, temporary tattoo, of course. And I got those, my sister-in-law actually got me them from Hatch Gal, or Hatch, like the brand is called Hatch. So I've been trying to keep up with those, but I haven't even done that consistently. I've done, I think, the 3 months I did, 5 months, 6, and then 7. So I've done 4 of them, and then trying to just keep track, just because I do want to see like kind of my progress of my bump and how much it grew over time, since like this is my first pregnancy, and just I don't know, I just really want to remember those kind of moments and milestones. So there's that. But yeah, this is gonna be just like a casual sit down. I'm gonna just talk about, just in case there's somebody out there watching that is going through their first pregnancy as well. So I guess to start, I should say that pregnancy in general gave me so much anxiety for so long, so many years. It took me, I'm 28 now, I'm turning 29 in September. And it took me a long time to feel like I was physically ready, not for a baby, but just to physically try and get pregnant. And that thought really scared me, just because there were so many unknowns. Every woman is different, every body's different. You can't really go off of another pregnancy. You have to just kind of go into it with an open mind, because if anything, everybody, like I said, everyone's different, and your experience is going to be totally different from the next person's. So I just really didn't know what to expect, and that unknown freaked me out. And me just being a naturally anxious person, I've had anxiety since 2015, and it's not something new. I mean, I've had to find ways to overcome it and find things and techniques that help me stay calm. Several things kind of trigger my anxiety, but one of them at one point was the thought of getting pregnant. And So being pregnant now, I've done a total 180 as far as like anxiety. The thought of being pregnant now, and even when I first found out, did not make me anxious at all, which surprised me, because I'm telling you, like from the time I was like probably the first 27 years of my life, I didn't even want to think about it because it just freaked me out. I didn't know how my body was going to react. I didn't know if I was going to have crazy morning sickness, and you just hear so many stories of what can happen, and all the things that women feel and experience as their body's changing so much and as their hormones are impacting their everyday lives. So just that unknown really freaked me out. But once I found out I was pregnant, I did find out, funny, I'll never forget this day because it was Friday, November 13th. So it was Friday the 13th, literally early in the morning. I don't even know why. I woke up at like 5 or 6 that morning, and I never wake up at that time. And I woke up that early. I don't know why. Something told me to take a pregnancy test that early in the morning. I can't really tell you. I started to have like tender breasts, and if you're like sensitive to like pregnancy talk, like definitely don't watch this video and just like exit out now. But this is more so to kind of document my journey and my experience. So I just want to have kind of like some documentation to remind myself of what I went through and how this whole experience has been. And I'll kind of get into all the details. But yeah, I found out on November 13th. It was a Friday. I took the test around 5 or 6, maybe 7. It might have been 7. I woke up at 5 or 6, but I definitely took it around 7 and found out I was pregnant at 7 in the morning or something like that. And so my husband doesn't wake up for work until like 8 o'clock, 7:55-ish. And so for like an hour, I was the only one in the world who knew I was pregnant. And I definitely just like cried in the bathroom. I was like shocked. Like I said, I had never tried to get pregnant before because of my anxiety, and so I had no idea if I could get pregnant. I didn't know if it was even possible. So when I saw that positive pregnancy test, I literally was mind blown, and I didn't know how to feel. There was too many emotions. Of course was happy, but it was just a lot of emotions at once. And so just waited for my husband to get up. And of course he's like half asleep. I probably could have planned this better, but like I said, this was totally unexpected. And so I told him right then and there, and of course it was not your like huge reaction. I probably told him at the worst time, but yeah, he was rushing for work, so we didn't really have time to really soak it in together in that moment. We of course have definitely soaked it in since then. But in that moment, it was just a really quick, we definitely hugged each other and things like that. Had a short moment, but it wasn't nothing too crazy. And so of course that same day, I ended up going to the doctor to make sure that it was in fact like true. But I took at least 3 or 4 that day at home, like at home tests, and they were all positive. So I was pretty positive that it was positive, but I wanted to go to the doctor to get the blood test. And of course later that Friday, in the late afternoon, I fully confirmed 100% by the doctor that I was pregnant. So at that point on November 13th, I was 4 weeks exactly, almost to the day. So it was of course too early. I couldn't go see an OBGYN that early, and I ended up going when I was 8 weeks. So I waited an entire month, and it was the longest month of my entire life, to see the OBGYN for the first time and hear the baby's heartbeat for the first time. And if I can figure out how to, I will put a quick clip of the first time that I heard his heartbeat.
That's the baby.
And it was just crazy. Like I will easily get emotional if I think about it too much, because it was just hearing his heartbeat and knowing that like he was an actual human in my body was just crazy to me. And it really, I guess, made it feel so real when I heard it, because up until then I didn't feel any different. I mean, I had like a little bit of tender breasts, but other than that, I'm trying to think. I don't believe that. I think that was really my only initial symptom the first month anyway. I thankfully never got morning sickness. I never threw up, but I had other symptoms definitely. Almost immediately, probably from the time I was 8 weeks on, like the rest of my first trimester, I was always feeling nauseous, but not to the point where I threw up. So I never threw up, never got morning sickness like I said, but I did feel nauseous for any little thing, especially car rides. I could not be in the car because I would just feel so sick, and just like that feeling you get when you're just like car sick is how I felt. But the biggest thing was my appetite changed so much my first trimester, and my mom can probably tell you this, and James, my husband, can probably tell you this, and every like one day something would sound good, and the next day like my favorite restaurant or my favorite food would just sound so disgusting, and I couldn't even think about it. There's like a Mexican restaurant down the road where I get like these avocado chalupas called Jalisco's, and I couldn't even think about that place. It made me so nauseous just to think about it. There was like Bill Miller breakfast tacos. I used to like love those all the time. Couldn't think about it. I'm like, and me and my mom are like, we have breakfast at least once a week together, so we're always constantly saying like, what are you in the mood for, what are you in the mood for? And so she feels so bad that I was just like, nope, that doesn't sound good to me, nope, that doesn't sound, and like nothing sounded good to me. I mean, my appetite was like gone, and I've heard other girls who've experienced something similar, so I know it's pretty common for your like appetite to just completely go away. And I am the one thing I'm glad for is that I did not throw up at all, because I really hated that, and that was probably one of the things I was most nervous about, is like, am I gonna get sick every morning? Am I gonna be like stuck in bed and not able to get up? So luckily that wasn't the case, but it still was like not very fun, because no food sounded good, and of course we naturally as humans have to eat, so it made thinking of meals and what to eat so hard, and I dreaded every breakfast, every lunch, every dinner, just because I had no idea what I would want, because my brain could not tell me what it was that I was craving, because I wasn't really craving anything. So eventually, I would say going into the second trimester, that went away, thankfully, and my appetite slowly started to become back to normal, and I could slowly start eating foods again that I used to like, that I had stopped eating for the first trimester. Another big thing, which I'm remembering right now as I'm experiencing it, is loss of breath very easily. Before I got pregnant, would walk about 2 miles a day with my mom, on her days off anyway, which was like 3 to 4 days a week. So 3 to 4 days a week I'd walk 2 miles, and no problem, not out of breath, totally fine. And then as soon as I got pregnant, I would slowly start to notice that, like, having to take more breaths. If I'm talking like I'm talking to you now, I have to take more breaths. Just naturally, you just run out of breath a lot easier. So that's always been, from the time I found out I got pregnant to now, hasn't changed. That's been one of the symptoms that has stayed pretty consistent. And then, so yeah, I went into my second trimester. My second trimester was my easiest one, where I started getting my appetite back. My breasts weren't tender anymore, which was nice, because for the first trimester I could barely touch them. It was just very, very painful. So the second trimester was the most comfortable, which on the app I used like the What to Expect, I think, app is what it's called, and they say that the second trimester tends to be the easiest. So that was the case for me. And then third trimester, I think, in actually going back, the second trimester, one of my new symptoms was heartburn. And when I guess first off, I should say I've never experienced heartburn before being pregnant, and so I had no idea what it felt like. It just threw me for a loop. And very first time I experienced it wasn't too bad because I think it was like not too much food, but I had made myself spaghetti one day for lunch, and what luckily wasn't a lot of spaghetti, so I started feeling like pain right here in your near your heart, like where you initially start to feel the heartburn. But I also felt like pain in my back, like that same spot in the front but in the back, so it just kind of like all the way through. And I had no idea what it was. I was just like, I don't know, like I thought it was just like food that upset my stomach, because it wasn't super intense that first time. Little did I know it would get more intense. The second time, I'm trying to remember what I ate. I think it was spaghetti again. If not, it was spicy guacamole. Both of those gave me heartburn in 2 different occasions. I don't remember which one happened first. But I had spaghetti at my mother-in-law's house, and then I had spicy guacamole with chips here at home. And both of those heartburn episodes, or whatever you want to call them, were so intense and painful. Well, I guess first of all, it did give me anxiety in the moment because I didn't know like what I was feeling, and like so I just started like hyperventilating type of thing, and just obviously James was walking me through it and saying it's gonna be okay, but it was like the most intense heartburn pain. And a lot of times when that would happen, once I started getting used to, well, I would slowly start to know, figure out what foods were causing it. So I've since obviously not eaten spaghetti or pasta with marinara at all. I've stayed completely away from it since that second time, because that's when I realized it was the spaghetti tomato sauce doing it. So after learning that hard lesson, and I obviously don't eat spicy guacamole anymore at the moment, but slowly started to make mental notes of foods that were causing it. Sorry, my battery is about to die, so I keep having to like stop and go. But I didn't know what was causing it, but over time I would start to take mental notes of foods that had triggered it. And when I did experience the heartburn, the best things for me anyway to stay calm was to take like a hot shower while I was experiencing it. They were lasting like maybe 10 to 20 minutes. I think the max in the beginning was like 30 minutes. Actually, probably I would say 20 to 30 minutes was average. One of my heartburn, one of my more recent ones in my 3rd trimester started at 4:30 and ended at 7. Off and on, not consistently, but that one was the longest one, and it was after eating a Slotchki sandwich, which didn't make any sense to me because I'd had it before. So I don't know, it's just kind of trial and error and like taking out foods that obviously cause it. And then in my 3rd trimester, I started getting Charlie horses, which I had not had a Charlie horse since high school when I used to dance. And I started randomly getting Charlie horses. I've had 2, I think maybe 3, in my 3rd trimester since I've went into it. And also just like foot cramps where my foot just like freezes and like the muscles tense up and you can't move them for a second. That is the worst. So I started wearing compression socks, which has helped my feet at least. And I am just like elevating my feet a lot more, which has helped. But those were not fun. And just like, yeah, if I stretch in the morning, like when you first stretch in the morning and you just want to like stretch your legs out and kind of like, you know, every time I do that, I get some sort of like small cramp. So I have to kind of be careful every time I wake up. Other than that, I would say those were my top symptoms. So overall, it hasn't been terrible. I will say that the 3rd trimester has been the most painful for my body anyway, just because he's obviously getting heavier and bigger, and so I am like, I feel that weight kind of weighing down on my lower body anyway. So I had to get a maternity belt, which has helped so much, from Amazon. I will link it in this video just because it literally it's a game changer for me. And so if you're pregnant or experiencing like the lower pelvic pain or lower back pain, I highly recommend it. It's amazing, and I will link it so you can get the one that I personally am using, because it's been working for me. But It helps to just kind of take the weight off of your belly, kind of support all that weight, and you literally put it right under your belly for some more support. And I tend to put mine on at night, just because at night is when all of the day's weight has weighed down, and that's when I feel the most pain. And before, I would just like, it would be so painful to get up or move or turn if I was sleeping. Every little movement just hurt at night from walking and being up and about and whatever it may be. So that has helped so much. But yeah, I think the 3rd trimester has been the most painful. But I mean, it's natural. Your body is just changing so much more drastically. You have a heavier baby. You have just all these things that factor into it. Testing. We're back. Okay, my battery officially died and I had to switch it out. So we are back. Pardon the interruption. But what I was saying was, I'm just glad that he is healthy. The ultrasounds and the appointments have been going so well. I just did my gestational diabetes blood test, which came back great. The only thing that I have had to kind of adjust is I came back slightly anemic. So my iron was just very slightly low. So I am on an iron supplement, but I'm just so thankful that my gestational diabetes blood test came out back normal. And that was another thing that kind of not freaked me out, but like I was just curious about it, is that the drink for that test that you have to take. I'd heard so many like stories like, oh, it's so nasty, like it's unbearable. And I don't know, I've heard just people like kind of making it into a bigger deal than it was, but the drink was like totally fine. I got fruit punch flavor and had to drink it in less than 10 minutes, but I drank it in like 2 minutes. Honestly, it just tasted like a high C drink or something like that, but it was not scary or a big deal at all. So yeah, I think that if you're like me and you're just like not knowing what to expect about this gestational diabetes drink or test or whatever, don't worry about it. Like, it's not as crazy as people say it is. The drink is fine. If you've had a high C before, that's pretty much what it tastes like. So yes, anyways, I'm glad that is over with. I'm at the point where I'm having to go to the OBGYN every 2 weeks. Until I believe July, and then I'm due July 21st. So starting in July and the rest of the month, I will see him twice a week. Yeah, twice a week, or once a week. Anyway, I'm gonna see him more often. I'm already seeing him more often than before. So just kind of making sure he's in the right positioning and everything's normal, and just hearing him more often is just a relief. I look forward to these appointments so much, and it makes me so happy to see him moving around, and feeling him. Like when I first felt him move was just so special. Me and my husband were watching Tom and Jerry, the new Tom and Jerry movie, and I was like randomly laying down, just hanging out. It was a Friday, and I felt him kick for the first time, and so glad that James was there to feel him at the same time. So ever since then, ever since I've been in my 3rd trimester, because that was in my second, like towards the end of my 2nd trimester is when I started feeling him kick for the first time. But the 3rd trimester, he's been moving like crazy. He moves a lot, well, obviously when I eat. Lately when I'm like in the car, like car rides, he'll like move a lot. But yeah, it's just, I mean, I love it. I love feeling him kick, and just knowing, like, or I guess having another way of knowing that everything's okay, he's healthy, and I'm just so excited for him to be here. I cannot believe it's only 9 weeks, not 9 months. It's only 9 weeks away until the due date, and I'm just, eventually I want to do a video of things that I bought for him. His nursery area is really pretty much set up. We have our official baby shower next month in June, so we'll get like all the last minute little things like left other clothes and diapers and things like that, but his big stuff is already here. We have his stroller. We got a Duna car seat stroller duo thing. We have his crib, we have a dresser, and some shelving put up for him. And I don't even know if I've said it, I don't even think I've said it in this video. His name's gonna be Luke. So his theme is like animals and like lions, because I was telling my coworkers today that my nickname, I guess, for him is like Luke the Lion. So having this like safari theme and just very neutral colors, and I really want to just like have that calm energy and effect in the room, just so it's just like kind of always relaxing and just like a nice place to just sit and rock him or put him to sleep or have like a playtime when he gets a little older and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to it. I, for the longest time, didn't see myself as a mom for anxiety reasons, and I never thought that the day would come where I would feel so empowered to do it. And I really am proud of myself for how I mentally have been throughout this whole experience, and like how much strength I've personally shown in myself, just because I think I was overthinking it in years past, and not, again, the not knowing what to expect factor, but also just letting my anxiety take over. And there came a point where I just told myself, like, I can't let my anxiety in general, not just over pregnancy, but just my anxiety in general, overtake every part of my life and like determine my happiness. So I think once I had that mindset, like my anxiety doesn't control my life and my anxiety doesn't control me, I feel like that's the perfect opportunity to kind of say it here, since it is Mental Health Awareness Month, I believe is what it's called, in May. And I think mental health is so important, and only you know when there's something off or something wrong, and that's totally okay to like feel like you need somebody to talk to, or you need an extra shoulder to cry on, and I have definitely been there, and having a strong support system for really special moments like this makes all the difference. And my family, friends, coworkers have been amazing, and like you really don't appreciate it until you're in a situation like this where you really realize that support means the world, and it really gets you through, kind of making you feel like you can conquer the world, as cheesy as that sounds, because for the longest time I was just like, how do women do this? Like, how do you experience your body changing so drastically in such a short amount of time, and how do you do this and how you do that? It's just like, I'm at the point where I don't want to overthink anything. I just want to enjoy the moment, be in the moment, live in the moment, and that's what I've really tried to do from the time I found out I got pregnant in November to now. I really just appreciate every month, appreciate our son's good health, and that he's growing, and that he's healthy, and everything's coming back great, and we're healthy, like, despite everything going on in the world. Just good health, family, and just like constant support has literally been the most important thing. And I think that that's really important, and that's what's helped me so much. So I hope that this video of symptoms, or I don't even know what I'm going to call this at the second that I'm recording this, but whatever I end up calling it, I hope it helps you. And if you're in a similar situation, or if you already have a baby and you have tips, and you're a new mom like me, definitely share them in the comments below. I am always welcome or open to your tips, or if they're especially if there's like products that you would recommend that you really need, or will have used, or anything like that. Definitely comment those down below. I am gonna do a video specifically dedicated to products that I've bought before he was born, because I also want to do, once he is born, products that I end up using the most. So I kind of want to see the difference based on what I think I'm going to use versus what I actually use. So I'm very interested in that for sure. So that is going to come. But I figured it wouldn't make sense at all if I didn't film some sort of video that talks about my pregnancy as a whole, acknowledges it, there's a video about it, so that when I film the rest of the videos to come, it all makes sense and goes together into this like little story. So yes, I will do a 3rd trimester / he's born kind of story time, I guess you would call this, chat, whatever you want to call it. But I really just wanted to wrap up everything that happened in my 1st and 2nd trimester, just in case there was somebody out there who's headed into their 1st or 2nd trimester and just needing a friend to talk to or listen to. I'm here. And if you aren't already, be sure to subscribe to this channel. You'll see a variety of content. I basically just film whatever I feel like, just because I feel like if I stick to one topic, it can get boring really quick. Over time, I will get better at posting more frequently, but this pregnancy has made me just not overthink anything. I'm just going with the flow. If I don't have time to do things, I don't, but I would really appreciate if you subscribe and like this video and be patient with me, because I think that there's so many more exciting things to come and content to come and ideas. So with that, I am going to get ready for bed. It is officially midnight, 12:11 on Saturday, May 22nd. So it is time for me to kind of wrap things up for the night and go get some rest. So until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.